Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially game week for the Dallas Cowboys. We are officially in NFL season mode. The Dallas Cowboys have signed Jason Peters to the practice squad. We will talk about that and a few jersey numbers around the team. We will also get into the two matchups that the Cowboys must win in order to pull off an upset over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which doesn't even need to be a huge upset because the Buccaneers are only 2-point favorites. And I was surprised by that. We talked about it last night. And also to close out the show on this Labor Day, I hope that you are enjoying it. We will also get into the playoff picture of the NFC. I have my prediction for you guys. I am looking forward to hearing about yours. So I hope that you guys are having a fantastic Monday night. Welcome everyone into the show. Do me a favor, hit the like button, share the stream. If you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, let your friends know about ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. But more importantly, hit the like button. That is the one thing that takes about 5 seconds and that does a lot to help out the show. What's up, Steve Miller? Miller Corvette over at Facebook. We've got Gregory as well. We've got Hallie. We've got Corey here in the Facebook chat. We've got Gregory. Celia, 6 to midnight. All of you guys, shout out to you. Toxic Tom, what is up? Missed you last night, Toxic. Happy Labor Day to you as well. And even though it is Happy Labor Day, I had to hop in here, man. I had to talk about the Dallas Cowboys with you guys tonight because it is the first game. It is the first week of the regular season, and I am excited about it. And here we are, ready to talk some Cowboys football. Now that more of us are here, let's get ready to start the show officially. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Welcome everyone into ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. I am your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central here on Dallas On Demand Sports Talk Network with a lot more content coming your way. Make sure that you check out adcsports.com/Dallas. New Cowboys articles up there every single day of the week with news, analysis, opinion, and of course, here on the show, Primetime, presented to you by our friends over at FreemanMazda.net. We will talk more about them and the ride of the week in a few moments here on the show. But before we do any of that, let's get into the news because there were some official news. Finally, the Cowboys signed Jason Peters. They signed him to the practice squad. He gets number 71, by the way, which is why I wanted to get into the number changes because there were a lot. In case you get, I don't want you guys to get caught off guard when the Cowboys take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next Sunday night. So we need to review this. But first, Jason Peters gets signed. He gets signed to the practice squad. That was expected. And that means that in order for him to play this week, the Cowboys would have to either sign him to the roster or elevate him for game day. Because remember that you have a 53-man roster. You can suit up 48 players. But out of those 53, you can also elevate 2 others from the practice squad per week. Now, the Cowboys, if they want to play Peters in week 1, which remains to be seen because of the ramp-up period, etc. But if they do want Jason Peters to suit up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they would probably need to sign somebody from the practice squad to the roster because you can elevate only 2 players per week. And right now, Cooper Rush is in the practice squad. Brett Maher is in the practice squad. Jason Peters as well. So the math doesn't add up. We'll see what happens. It is possible that the Cowboys decide to keep the 40-year-old tackle in the practice squad for a week, maybe roster him until week 2, which in turn would also mean that the Cowboys do not have to guarantee his contract, as you probably know. And that would be smart financially for the Cowboys. And of course, Jason Peters might also want to ramp up a little bit before he gets started. Now, when he does get started, we can only speculate as to what the plan will actually be because officially, Tyler Smith is said to be your starter at left tackle. And extra officially, we don't know if that is only temporary until the Cowboys can play Jason Peters and then slide Smith back into the inside of the offensive line. And even if the Cowboys give us hints here and there with public comments, I think we will just have to wait to find out. Jason Peters gets number 71. That number belonged to Waletzko. He will now play with number 79, which most recently belonged to Tynesek. But then we get a lot of other number changes for the Cowboys, by the way. We've got Anthony Barr going from 51 to 42. Daron Bland, 30 to 26. Remember that Jordan Lewis is not wearing 26 anymore. He will wear number 2 this year as the Cowboys nickel cornerback. Jake Ferguson, I hated this one. Let me know in the chat whether thumbs up or thumbs down for Jake Ferguson's number change, because I think this one will be controversial. From 48, Jake Ferguson goes to 87. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Let me know in the comments. I want to know how you feel about this one, because I thought that 48 for Jake Ferguson looked cold. And there's also the historic context of the Cowboys number 48, so that was cool. And especially since we are excited about Ferguson, we were set to enjoy it, really. Maybe if Jake Ferguson was not looking as good as he's been looking, maybe we would all be in agreement that Jake Ferguson should change his jersey number. But I did hate hearing about the rookie not getting to wear number 48. On a similar note, Peyton Hendershot goes from 49 to 89. Kevontae Turpin, this is a weird one. Originally, it was reported that Turpin would take Tony Romo's number. We even had a discussion about it last week. But now it isn't a sure thing, it appears. It could be 9 or 16. I don't know what that is about. I don't know if we've gotten more information there. But, according to Michael Gillikin, both numbers are an option for the Cowboys kick returner. Dennis Houston goes from 3 to 17. 3 was already taken by Anthony Brown. Matt Waletzko, we already said that one, 71 to 79. And then finally, Malik Jefferson, 49 to 46. There you go. Those are the number changes. Let's see how you guys felt about that number change for Jake Ferguson. I wanted him to wear 48, honestly. And I don't like I don't like tight ends that don't wear a number in the 80s, but 48 specifically, it's kind of a cold look. Gregory goes with the thumbs up. Bruce says that I liked the traditional tight end numbers. 7-Eleven says 80 is the tight end's number. I am on board with it. Joey Bella with the thumbs up. Let's see here. Happy Labor Day, Mark Andrew. Welcome into the show. Thumbs up. Oh, it turns out everyone likes Jake Ferguson going to 87. Am I alone here? Toxic says Jake from State Farm looks better with 87. Bruce says let Turbo Turpin have number 9. It's not off limits. Ninja says I don't care about a wide receiver wearing 9, but 16 is a better number. Let's see. I swear Turpin has had 18 number changes, says Toxic Tom. Yeah, I am okay with Turpin taking over 9. I said this the other day. I do think that it means something. It means that the Cowboys are high on Turpin. I don't think that it's a number that should be off limits or anything like that. But I do find it relevant that he is getting number 9 if he does. A quarterback getting 9, wearing 9. I get people feeling some way about it, but he's a wide receiver, says Ninja. Yeah, the only thing that I feel about Turpin taking 9, if he does, is, as I said, that it's relevant, that it's the front office trying to sell the fans something. Whether it's something important or not, maybe that's a different topic, but I do think it's intentional. That's what I mean when I say that maybe Turpin getting 9 means something for the Cowboys. Shouldn't be off limits. I agree with that. And I agree with Ninja. Maybe you don't want to give it to a quarterback, especially because you already have one. And if you give it to a quarterback, it would likely be to a backup quarterback. So yeah, number 9 for a quarterback might be off limits, not for other positions. I agree with that one. Anyways, I was surprised. I thought that many of you would have preferred number 48 for Jake Ferguson. I felt alone on that boat. It does happen. Toxic Tom, you think this is funny, but it really isn't. Mo, is it true Turpin jerseys are only sold in youth sizes? You might laugh about that, but I can think of a certain primetime host that benefits from youth jerseys being available because maybe he or she, I'm not going to reveal who we're talking about, but maybe he or she either wears small jerseys for adults or extra large jerseys for youth fans. I'm not going to say who we're talking about here, but I certainly don't mind Turpin getting the youth sizes in his jerseys, right? Mo can get one then, says Ninja. There you go. Hit the like button, by the way. Let's talk some football. Let's talk about the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they are set to play Sunday night in Dallas, AT&T Stadium. Gregory says, I thought you were talking about yourself, Mo. Yeah, definitely I was. Don't worry. Oh. Bruce says, Mo, which football broadcast has the best music? I like Fox's Game of the Week or NBC Primetime. I'm going to go with Sunday Night Football. Sunday night has always been my favorite time slot to play a game for the Cowboys. I always want to see the Cowboys play in Sunday night. That's my favorite time slot. And 99% of that is the intro song to Sunday Night Football. That's not even an exaggeration, I believe. I just remember maybe being a kid and really genuinely waiting all week, as the song says, right? Waiting all day for the Sunday night. That was my reality, and I've always liked the song. So definitely I would go with NBC Primetime. Now, college football, though, ESPN's music is the best. Tom says, it's okay, it's you, Mo. All right. We don't have to fully clarify that point. We'll just say exactly, Toxic Tom. A friend of a friend, we'll say. Anyways, let's talk about the game then. Let's talk about the Cowboys taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs are 2-point favorites. Even as a road team, DeMarcus Lawrence said that he was taken by surprise by that. He said that he expected to be the favorite, but hey, he doesn't care. The game has got to be played. And as I discussed last night, I actually thought that the Buccaneers were going to be favorites by maybe 3.5 points or maybe even 4 points, just based on the market sentiment that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are perceived as a favorite in the conference, and the Cowboys, the market is not even sure who's winning the NFC East. That's the impression that we've been getting from fans and the markets and analysts and all of that throughout the entire league. So when I saw the number, I was surprised. And I was thinking about those matchups that could really tilt the game in the Cowboys' favor. And there's one that stands out above every other matchup in this game. The one matchup that I really believe the Cowboys can win and that it can have a big impact on the outcome of this football game. Now, I will say this. Truth or false, let me know in the comments. Truth or false, if Dallas wins, it will be because of the defense. Let me know what you think about that statement. Truth or false, if the Cowboys win on Sunday night, it will likely be because of the defense. Let me know what you guys think about it on the YouTube chat and the Facebook chat. And while you do, and before I tell you the matchup that I'm thinking about, let me talk to you about our friends over at Freeman Mazda, because the ride of the week is the new CX-9 Grand Touring, and we're talking about a vehicle here that includes all-wheel drive features, third row seating. It's got rear air conditioning, sunroof, and a heated leather memory power seating system. adaptive cruise control, and a miles per gallon capacity of 20 in the city. That goes up to 26 miles per gallon when you are in the highway. But make sure you check out the CX-9 Grand Touring. It is a spacious vehicle. Check it out on Freeman Mazda, because when you choose Freeman Mazda as your car dealership, you are choosing a lifelong partnership as your car dealer. So make sure you go check it out. Check the inside pictures, the outside pictures of the CX-9 Grand Touring over at freemanmazda.net. The matchup that I'm thinking about, and from what I can see in the comments, a lot of people agree. A lot of people are counting on the Cowboys defense to be the one that really takes the Cowboys to victory on Sunday, including Jerry Johnson here on Facebook, Eltino, Charlene, Gregory, Tammy over at Facebook. Mark Andrew disagrees. He says false. And Ninja here, I couldn't agree more. He says true, but I don't think the offense sucks either. Hey, Ninja, I will copy paste your comment and use it as my answer, because I know we're concerned about the tackle situation. I know we're concerned about the wide receivers, but I'm not expecting the Cowboys to suck on offense. This has been a unit that, as long as it has Dak Prescott on their center, it should be efficient. It should find a way to move the football, even if the decision-making is not ideal. But the one matchup that I think that the Cowboys can really exploit is the interior offensive line for the Tampa Bay Bucs. You will hear throughout this week plenty of times that the Bucs have 3 new starters between the tackles, because they've got a new left guard, a new center, and a new right guard. Honestly, I'm going to be even more specific. I'm going to talk about the left guard and the center, because there's a new right guard in Tampa, but I actually think that's kind of an upgrade. Jack Mason is probably a better guard than Alex Capa, who ended up signing with the Cincinnati Bengals. So I don't think there's an advantage there necessarily. I think that Jack Mason and Tristan Wirfs will be pretty solid in the right side. Now the Cowboys do have Micah. They have D-Law, so it's an even matchup there on that front. But I'm looking at the center and the left guard for the Tampa Bay Bucs as their biggest weakness. At center, they have Robert Hainsey. He's a 3rd-round pick out of Notre Dame, and he played 31 snaps last year. He's in his 2nd year in the NFL, only 31 snaps, about 5% of the offensive snaps for the Bucs last year. He was a tackle in Notre Dame with the Fighting Irish, and he was actually pretty successful as a tackle when he was in college. But he's making the transition to center. He's taking over a hurt Ryan Jensen. It's not like he had a lot of time to really adjust and get used to snapping the football to Tom Brady. So maybe that's also a factor in this game. But then at left guard, this might be the biggest weakness in the entire offensive line. He is a 2nd-round rookie out of Central Michigan. He did not have a pretty preseason. Specifically, he did not have a good game versus the Titans. He was called for 2 holdings. He was blown up in a play that really showed that he can be beaten with power. And I thought he was really overcome with power on that football game overall. That isn't to say that he absolutely sucks and he shouldn't be starting in the NFL. He probably should be. But I do wonder how the Cowboys can exploit this matchup. How can you get pressure from the A gaps and the B gaps here versus Tom Brady? The fastest path to the quarterback, right? The inside rushes. And I've talked about this a lot on primetime before, but I am completely in love with the way Dan Quinn will throw out some 4 defensive end looks on defense instead of using the tackles, or maybe get a defensive end as a mocked up linebacker over the center, threatening the A gap. Dan Quinn has been aggressive that way for a while now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the Cowboys use that, right? Will we see maybe Micah Parsons and Anthony Barr mocked up over the center? That's also something that Anthony Barr did a lot when he was with the Vikings, and the Cowboys will know that for sure. Will we see maybe this front in which DeMarcus Lawrence is, I don't know, try to maybe they try to use him on the left side of things as well, inside. That wasn't that crazy last year when they were trying to isolate DeMarcus Lawrence versus the guards in passing situations. Could we see that? But from the left side, when they want, if they want to exploit that weakness, that's something that I do wonder about. But also, I am thinking about Oza taking that step forward and maybe trying to destroy the left guard each and every play. Neville Gallimore, can Chauncey Golston step up as well as a player that we are expecting to play inside as well? That's a matchup that I think that the Cowboys can really win. And that if there's one weakness to this offense, it is those two at center and left guard, which is ironically quite similar to what we will discuss about the Cowboys, right? Swain says blitz up that A gap. That's what I would like, definitely. I want to see mucked up linebackers over the center. I want to see stand-up defensive ends. I want to see what some people call the NASCAR front. So when you see 4 defensive ends out there, you can think of the NASCAR front. I really don't know where that term comes from, where the connection happens, but some people call it that, and I've always liked that term. Oh, and jam their wide receivers at the line, says Gregory. Cowboys are well equipped to attack the middle, says Jose. And while that is true, in our minds, they also do kind of need to prove it. I know that they can get the pass rush thing right. I mean, we saw the significant flashes from it from Oza last year. We know what Neville Gallimore is about, but also collectively, the Cowboys' defensive tackles sucked versus the run. So that's also a part of this, right? Attacking the middle in the pass rush, but also knowing that you need to defend the run. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to run the football down your throat as well. They're going to run duo. That's bread and butter for their offense. They're going to try to double team you in the running game, but also how much does that change when you don't have the chemistry that you had in previous years? That's actually something that I right now I'm thinking about. I hadn't thought about this before the show. Right now that we are talking, they like to run a lot of duo. And that means, getting Ali Marpet and Ryan Jensen together for blocks, Ryan Jensen and Alex Kappa together for blocks. Are you going to have that same chemistry to pull off those running plays with 3 new offensive linemen in the middle? I hadn't thought about that. But the point remains, the Cowboys still need to prove it on the run defense side of things. That they can win in the middle. That's something that we are hoping that they're able to do by improving, because it's not like the Cowboys added a defensive tackle to this unit. It's about betting on those players stepping up. 7-Eleven says attack the middle, but you better cover Leonard Fournette out of the backfield. Cowboys will have Zach Martin this year, says Ultra Cowboy. Yes, they will. I actually, we will discuss that for sure. Lunatic says from the New York Giants rush package, they named it the NASCAR package, says the Lunatic. Oh, really? Did they? But then what is the connection there? I will tell you something. I know nothing about NASCAR. Like literally nothing. Not my sport. Not even because I don't like it. I just have not seen it or follow it much. The one time that I was super involved with NASCAR was when they came to my the NASCAR Mexico series came to my hometown, and I was in there for it. But I want more context there. Bruce says, Mo, Cowboys need to run the ball, attacking the edges too. Last time they didn't really run, and it was always up the middle. Last time was an insane football game. They passed 58 times. I believe those were the attempts by Dak at the end of that game. I will say this. I don't know if I'm that interested in running towards the Tampa Bay Bucs defense either, especially not to the middle. I would like, more than the running game, I would just like to see a lot of quick game for the Cowboys. And when I say quick game, I don't even mean like a 3-step drop back. I mean, just a quick 1-read play, slant, hitches, flats, all of that. I know it's not sexy offense for you, but I would probably prioritize quick game elements to this game rather than the running game, just because I am scared about Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks and, you know, Logan Hall, who will be a key part of this team as well. NASCAR, because they were all fast to Samuel Rowe. Is that actually it? Is that actually it? Because if it is, then I love that. I do love that, Samuel. Matthew Villegas, what is up? Welcome into the show. It was the 2007 Giants, says Samuel. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Professor O says Mauricio knows more about Lightning McQueen than he does NASCAR drivers. I confirm that. I can confirm that for you guys. I do like Formula One. I recently got into it before this season started. I started, getting into Formula One, and I have followed this season pretty closely, but not NASCAR though. Not NASCAR. Mo says 6 to midnight. What do you think about an up-tempo, no-huddle offense for Dallas against the Bucs? I like that idea. Definitely 6 to midnight. And maybe some people will disagree with me, but I could see the Cowboys going for something like that, especially, and I'm trying to get the numbers here really quick as I talk to you about this from Sports Info Solutions. But I believe that the Cowboys were actually one of the most aggressive teams when it came to up tempo. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this right now because the site is kind of acting up. No, I will. So the Cowboys were, according to Sports Info Solutions, 8th highest rate of no huddle offense. And they were the most successful team out of no huddle in 2021. I could definitely see that. I would like it if the Cowboys lean on that on this game. So for sure. And there you go. There you have the numbers now. Top 10 team in frequency of no huddle offense. And they had the highest success rate there. Matthew says, Mauricio, I hate to be a downer, but I think we will start the season 0-2. Listen, I don't have a prediction yet for the Cowboys-Buccaneers game. I definitely do not have a prediction for the Week 2 game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. They're both home games. It's possible. It is possible that they start 0-2. And even that, although it will be a frustrating news cycle maybe, even then it's not going to be the end of the year, right? Especially when you have games versus the Giants and Washington and even the Eagles after that. I know that the Rams game is somewhere there as well. But hey, if they do start 0-2, I know it sounds crazy to say it right now, but season will be far from over. We all have to know that. And hopefully they end up with a one-on-one, something like that. Eltina says no huddle and let Dak call plays. You're right. We won the Super Bowl last season. His name. Yeah, somebody said that the fact that this guy was called name was kind of a major troll alert. What is up, Lorenzo? He says, greetings, Mo. What do you think of Brett Maher? Could he be the difference between a win or a loss in game one? Well, yeah, he could be. He could be. I mean, I have not forgotten how the Cowboys-Bucs game ended last year. And I think I would feel maybe even better about Greg Sorline than I do about Brett. It's difficult to know if we want to be optimists about it. I mean, kicking is a rhythm thing. So maybe the Cowboys did get a better version of Brett Maher. Sadly, though, I do think that he could be the difference between a win or a loss in game one, Lorenzo. We saw that happen last year with an unreliable kicker in Greg the Leg. We saw the fact that this is a 2-point game, according to the sports books, according to the odds makers. This will be a tight, close football game. So I could see it being a difference. I cannot lie to you and tell you that I am confident in Brett or anything like that. Professor O, though, has some good news for you. He says that good news, folks. I have cracked the secret to time travel and can confirm that Dallas will beat Tampa Bay. Source, just trust me, bro. There you go. There you go. Shout out to Rick Paul, who is representing Bengals Nation. That will be a fun game. That will be a fun team to follow. At least that's what I understood from the Hude comment in there at Facebook. Tom says, I feel the offense could be surprising. It could. It could if Dak Prescott plays like he was before the calf injury last year. Now, that takes us to the other matchup. And this might sound boring, but I know we just talked about the left guard center thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if the Cowboys end up winning on the interior offensive line in this game, that's a matchup that could make or break this season opener matchup versus Tampa as well. Now, this one is a tough one. Last year you had Connor Williams, Tyler Biotish, and Connor McGovern as your offensive line core. And when I say core, I mean your two guards and your center. This time it will be probably a better core, I guess. You have Zach Martin in there. And many probably forgot about the fact that Zach Martin was not available to the Cowboys in week 1 last year. But he was. And I think that just based on the fact that Zach Martin is a part of these 3 players, you're talking about a much improved unit. I don't know where the Cowboys will be sliding towards most of the game, but you don't have to worry about Zach Martin. He will take care of his assignment each and every play, and he will help out those around him. So that means Terrence Steele and Tyler Biotish. That's a big game changer. However, on the left side of things, you have to be worried about Tyler Smith and Connor McGovern playing side to side, just based on the fact that both of them are question marks. We don't know enough about Tyler Smith, and we saw Connor McGovern play last year, and it wasn't great. So this will be a game in which interior offensive line could end up defining the ball game, both sides. Let's see. Kenneth Fraser says, how come I can't give you a like for watching? It won't let me. I don't know if that was a comment for somebody else, Kenneth. You should be able to like the video, though. And by the way, do me a favor. If you like the show, hit the like button, share the stream. It takes about 5 seconds to hit that thumbs up, and it really, really helps out the show because that's how the algorithm works for some funny reasons. So make sure you do that. Hit the like button. And if you're new here, remember that we are live on primetime every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central. And hey, there's a fun week ahead of us, by the way. We've got Evan Winter joining the show tomorrow night. He is the ADC Sports managing editor of the website, and he has covered the Tampa Bay Bucs for a while now. So Evan Winter will be here to talk some Bucs Cowboys game, give us his insight, his scout take maybe on Tampa. That will be fun. Later, we'll talk about maybe some matchups on Wednesday. And of course, every Thursday, we have these kind of preview segments in which we do a prediction for the game. And then we do a betting the Cowboys segment. And now I do have to warn you, though, it's obvious since I write about 10 articles per week, I do about 5 shows, more than that actually per week. It's obvious that my life, one way or another, revolves around the Dallas Cowboys. However, when we get into the predictions, you will not get homer predictions from me. If I honestly think the Cowboys are going to lose, that will be the prediction. That's just because my goal has always been to remain objective in front of the camera and the microphone, because I honestly think that most people watch because of that, more than just to get a cheerleader for the team, right? So get ready for that. If you don't like that, maybe you can skip the Thursday shows or anything. Just just know that when the game comes on, I am definitely rooting for the Cowboys. Who remembers when Dez and Wilcox fought back in 2014, says Matthew. Those fights were fun. Way over 5.5 Sunday nights, Lunatic. Let's see. What are we talking there? Oh, over under of the number of times we see Jerry during the game, says Toxic Tom. Hey, hopefully it's an over, because if it's over, then it means that the game is close, right? And that's what we want, unless it's the other way around. Anyways, before we get out of here, though, hit the like button, and we've got an NFC playoff picture for you guys. Let me know, in your opinion, what you like, what you don't like about my NFC playoff picture. What would you change? Because I ranked the 4 division champions, and then I had the 3 wildcard teams. It's tough to put together, but here's how I look at the NFC shaking out. I have the Green Bay Packers surprisingly at number 1, and I say surprisingly because at the beginning of the offseason, I didn't expect to rank them this high, but they do have an easy schedule compared to the Rams, for example. They're above average in the NFL in strength of schedule. I worry about the Vikings a little bit in the NFC North, looking at it from a Packers perspective. But I like what LaFleur and Rodgers have done for the last few years. They have one of the best offenses in the league. And as such, I have them at number 1. At number 2, I have the Tampa Bay Bucs. They have the 7th easiest strength of schedule. So even though they have plenty of question marks, I have them at number 2 in the NFC. Number 3, the LA Rams. And I'm not even that sure about that one, because they have the 2nd most difficult schedule in the entire NFL. The 49ers will not be easy to beat, nor will the Cardinals. The Seattle Seahawks will be, though. They will be easy to beat. But the Rams do not have an easy schedule. Case in point, they have a game versus the Buffalo Bills this Thursday night. And then I've got the Cowboys at 4th. I think they win the NFC East. I think that they are your division champions. This would be, I don't know how common it is for the 4 division champions to repeat as such. So I have some questions there, but there you go. And then as the wildcard teams, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they have one of the best rosters in the league. And even if Jalen Hurts is not what Eagles fans want him to be, I think they will win some games. San Francisco 49ers at number 6. I am a Trey Lance believer, and as such, I need to include them in the playoffs. Plus, they do face the 13th easiest schedule. The Eagles, by the way, they have the 2nd easiest schedule. And when I say this, I am talking about using projected win totals for each team instead of last year's record for each team. And lastly, at number 7, I do have the Minnesota Vikings. They have a top offense, believe it or not. The Vikings might be in the conversation to be a top 10 offense in this NFL league. So watch out for the Vikings. I know it's Kirk Cousins. I know about the primetime record. I know about all of that. But watch out for Minnesota. They might end up being a major surprise in the NFC. Like, they could even beat the Packers, honestly, for the division, I mean. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm ranking one at number 1, at one at number 7. But that's the kind of impact you can get if you beat the Packers, for example, in week 1, because they do face each other in week 1. Let's see some of your thoughts, though, on my playoff picture. Professor O says, I had the Vikings beating Green Bay in the division, actually. Hey, Kevin O'Connell will be fun. Jack says, I would say the Vikings should be higher than the Eagles. Let's see. They also have a running back at a quarterback, says the Lunatic. Chicago Cardinals were the first team in the NFL, says Brooklyn Joe. Arizona instead of Philly, says Lunatic. San Francisco misses the playoffs, says Professor O. 6 to midnight with one that I love and one that I struggled with. Saints making the wild card. I could see that. And now, keep this in mind. And this is always a mind-blowing stat. There have been 32 consecutive seasons. Think about that. 32 consecutive seasons of minimum 4 teams being in the playoffs that were not there the year before. 32 years. It is essentially a rule in the NFL that there will be 4 new teams in the playoffs each and every year. Last season, with 6 wildcards, there were 7 new teams. That's the one part that I don't like about my own prediction. I would like to have more new teams in here because the Eagles made it last season. The 49ers also did. But then again, I do look at the AFC and I do feel better about so many teams making it as new teams because you've got the Chargers missing out last year, the Broncos, the Colts, the Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Ravens. That's not even getting into even more dark horse kind of teams like the Raiders and stuff. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was the show. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. Hope that you guys continue to enjoy your Labor Day. And, it's back to work tomorrow. But hey, it's easier when you know that on Thursday night you get the NFL kickoff and that on Sunday night you get your Dallas Cowboys playing on that TV. Or for those of you who are going to the stadium, of course, you're also going to enjoy that. Now, I hope that you have a fantastic Monday night. I will continue to watch the Clemson Tigers, my college football team. And hey, hope that you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, do me a favor and hit the like button. Also, make sure that you remember that Primetime was brought to you by our friends over at Freeman Mazda. Check out the ride of the week on freemanmazda.net. Hit the like button. It helps the stream a lot. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Hope you had a great Labor Day, says Joy. I definitely did. Thank you. Thank you to 60 Minute and all of you. I will see you tomorrow here on ADC Sports Dallas. Bye-bye.